better. Can you say we can do better? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yes, you are welcome. Welcome back from that session. We were trying to ensure that at least we have touched on everyone's concern. That was our first session. So at least everybody's concern has been touched a little. We hope that we can be able to get details on some of the most important areas that you have shared your concern. Like I mentioned, my name is Zaitun Kachama and I am a mother. I want to stand here as a mother and a teacher. You're going to find me in places and I might be doing very different things. But my concern this morning is to remind myself and you, our little ones, about our rights and responsibilities. Today we have teenagers who are good at demanding their rights. It is my right, it is my right, it is my right. You hear them in the dormitory, you hear them in the classroom, it's my right. And they don't even know what the right is. They don't even know the meaning of rights. So we want to help you appreciate that wherever you are demanding a right, there is a responsibility that escorts that right. Whenever you say that it is your right to do whatever, there is a responsibility that you are supposed to do. And as a teenager who is the future president, you are the future fathers, future mothers, you're the future sheikhs, you're the future, what can we mention? Future engineers, my people tell me they want to be engineers, future lawyers. Those are your rights, probably. It is your right to dream. It is your right to have inspiration. It is your right to imagine that you're going to be important people. But there is a responsibility that has to be catered for. And when we are talking to you, I usually tell my children that nobody is going to fight your battles. No matter how much we love you, no matter how much we wish the best for you, we cannot take care of the responsibility. Now, what is a right? A right is simply a rule that has been put there to ensure that you live safely in this life. It can be a natural right, it can be a political right, it is going to be an economic right, a social right. It is just to ensure that we live properly together and we live peacefully and safely in this life. So for example, you have a right. You know your rights? Can we mention some of the rights that you are supposed to have? Number one, right to, you have a right to? A right to? I want to put up your hand and you tell me. One, you have a right to education. Is that true? You have a right to education, and you have a right to be given education that is going to be purposeful in your life. We as teachers, we as the leaders, we as your parents, we are supposed to provide you information that can make you useful in this world. We are supposed to give you education that is going to make you be able to thrive tomorrow. We are supposed to ensure that we give you knowledge that is going to help you be very, very comfortable tomorrow. But what is your responsibility as a teenager who has a blessing of parents who are striving and they're struggling to take you to school? As a teenager who is in a good school, what is your responsibility as a teenager who has teachers that are doing all they can that you pass your exams? We know that when you are in school, what is going to happen? What is going to happen if we break the rules and regulations of school? They are going to expel us. They are going to give us suspension. The teachers are going to put you in their bad books. That boy is bad-mannered. That girl has bad manners. That girl is not my friend. So the attention that your teacher would have given you will be lessened because you are not following the rules and regulations. We don't want to go into the details of the rules and regulations because I hope you know them, and they are going to differ probably depending on the school. But it is important to be in class on time. People are sleeping again. Tap her, please. Oh, can you sit up? Your right to education requires you to be responsible, to be in class before the teacher. Ensure always the teacher finds you in class. The teacher finds you on your desk. The teacher finds you with the notebook of that subject and a pen and a pencil or and a set or whatever is supposed to be used in that classroom. One of the things that happens if you find, I was telling my daughters, that whenever a teacher starts before you're in class, you're going to miss the important points that they are going to start with. If the teacher is going to teach photosynthesis, for example, and then for you, you are not there when they are defining photosynthesis, it means that is a topic that you're going to struggle with forever. So your responsibility as a student or as a teenager to ensure that you get your right of education is to always be in class before the teacher. All right? Shall we do that? Are we going to do that? If it is in the morning, ensure that you're in class. If it is after break, ensure that you're in class. Don't be at the canteen when the lessons have begun. Because anything that you're going to miss in that lesson is going to affect your performance. And guess what? It is going to affect that dream that you want to get. Probably that topic that they're going to tackle that time is going to affect your performance to the extent that you'll not become the engineer that you want to become. So one of the most important responsibilities as a person who wants a right of education is to ensure that you're in class before the teacher and ensure that you are attentive. Do all you can to ensure that you are attentive, because what is going in your neighbor's head is what is some of it is not what is going in your head, and we understand differently. Not so? We understand differently. Some people are quick learners. The minute the teacher says this, it goes in the head. Some of us, we need to put up our hands that, excuse me, teacher, can you give me a second explanation? How will you be able to do that when you are not attentive? It is a responsibility while you are in school looking for that right of education to be attentive in the classroom. How are we attentive? We ensure that we take personal notes. Today you people copy notes from the copied notes of a copied notes of copied notes of copied notes of another person. So you are copying wrong notes, copied from a wrong notes, copied from. Always ensure that you make your own notes. Because you know what happens when you're making notes? As you are writing, things are getting inscripted on your brain. Whatever you write, you will always remember. Now, you are copying notes from someone who was not attentive. You're copying notes from someone who has very poor English. They have very wrong spellings. And for you, you're taking exactly the way they've written. And also you're even making it worse. So my dear boys and girls, if you are going to master things and you can be able to stand where we are and even better, and you can express things in the right and in the best way, you must make sure that you get from your teacher yourself and write what you have understood yourself. Is that okay? Are we going to do that? Shall we do that when you go back to school? Are you speaking to me? I want us to have a conversation. When you go back to class, ensure that you're copying notes from that person who was there when the teacher was there, and you have confirmed that this person has a good handwriting, for example. They know English, they have the right spellings, and they have been able to put together the best notes. All right? Number 3, please ensure that you ask where you have not understood. This is still one of the challenges today. You people do not want to consult your teachers. You fear your teachers. Actually, you don't fear them. You avoid them. Because we know some students abuse their teachers, so it means they don't fear them, right? Someone is in the dormitory and they are mimicking their teacher. Did you see Sheikh walking like this? Did you see the hole in his trouser? But we want to tell you this morning that it is important to go and ask where you did not understand. Because whatever you don't understand in that area is going to affect, it is going to affect that dream of you becoming a doctor. So from today onwards, go and ask your fellow that you believe has understood. You consult, because that personal conversation between you and your teacher is going to assist you to understand and master. Okay? The other important responsibility as a student, ensure that you make the right friends. Friends that are going to facilitate you and help you go through your education life. Please avoid friends that take you off the course. Avoid friends that are always making you do things that are not helping you in school. You know that we have friends that are always talking about football. Boys, you have a friend that knows every single thing about football, but they don't know anything when it comes to biology. Girls, we have friends that know all the soaps on television. They know Telemundo this, they know Telemundo the other one, they know this cartoon, they know the other singer, they know every other thing that is on social media. And while you are making friends with this person, the time that you're spending with them is reducing your attention that you're supposed to give to your studies. So there are a lot of the other responsibility is to ensure that you revise. Please ensure that you make revision. Today morning I didn't want to get annoyed. I asked one of my children that, are you revising? And she was good to tell me that she's not revising. When you don't revise, you are going to go into examination and you will not be able to answer. Not because you don't understand, not because you are dense, not because you're stupid, but you are going to fail exams. Because revision helps us remember what we studied. It is a responsibility. It is a duty of a teenager who is in school and is being provided education to revise. It is a responsibility to do examinations. Some of you don't want to go back to school early because you want to dodge beginning of term. Not so? But one of the things that helps us master the things that we are learning so that we can be experts tomorrow is examination. Because examinations are testing us to see that we have understood. Now, many of you, when it is examination time, you fall sick. And you know why people are dodging examination? It is because they are not revising. It is because they have wrong notes. It is because they have wrong friends. So ensure that you do your examinations, no matter how many marks you're going to get in that exam. Because if you get 10 marks, it means those 10 marks are showing that that is what you know. And then you're going to go back and look for the 90 that you failed. Are we going to do that? Shall we do our examinations? No matter what? No matter what? Today people who are in P7, PLE is coming. PLE is coming. People who are in senior 4, senior 6, your name is knocking. If you are not revising, my dear sisters, my dear daughters and sons, you are not going to be able to get the grades that you want. By the way, those who have a piece of paper, please write the marks that you want to get in your name. Write them on the side that I want to make 4. Ya Allah, assist me. Mwanje Mutesa Sira team. Please tap them. Those ladies on the second line in front of you in green. Can you stand up? Stand up. 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 Stand up. in front of the green. Tap the person in front of you. The one with the green.
Kwanjulire Al-Bayan Quran Memorization Center Eyiganga. Al-Bayan Quran Memorization Center somero ly'abawala n'abalenzi lyaniriza ab'ekisulo n'abava waka lya nasale ne primary okuva ku P1 paka ku P7. Tusomesa abaana okuva ku myaka 4 n'okudda waggulu. Lisambisa amagulu abiri, lisomesa eddiini n'ebyensi. Ate ng'abaana bonna tubakwasisa Kurani ku mwoyo. Tulina ne center number ku Al-Bayan Quran Memorization Center. Ebyokwerinda by'abaana biri gulugulu. Tulina CCTV kamera ku ssomero ezituyambako okumonitalinga entambula y'abaana. Essomero lyaffe lirina ekikomera ekitangira abaana okumala gataayaaya. Tusangibwa Iganga, Kaliro Road ku Masjidi Jamia ewa Sheikh Uthman Shabani Ngobi. Tufunire ku 070 12 11 21 ne 070 45 36 91 oba 072 nkaaga 710. Leto omwana wo ku Al-Bayan Quran Memorization Center. Togenda kwejjusa. Al-Bayan Quran Memorization Center. Quran is my behavior.
Ban TV, connecting Africa to the world.
Attention. Whenever you are feeling sick or not feeling okay, it is your right to be taken to a doctor. It is your right to be taken to a clinic, a good one, or a hospital. But what happens when you're given that right? So if you are here and you have mentioned any sickness to a teacher, a head teacher, or a parent, ensure that you are given medical attention. That is why today many schools want us to do medical checkup before we go back to school, so that we know the health of the students that we have in school. But when you are given your right of medical attention, what is your responsibility? As a teenager, as my husband was trying to help you there, it is important to know how you feel genuinely, not this saying of how are you, I'm fine, yet you have a big headache. How are you, I'm fine, the stomach is not okay. How are you, you spent the night when you have a fever. It is very important, and it is a responsibility of you to know that I'm not feeling okay. Okay? It is very important that it is a responsibility for you to report to the people who are responsible that I am not feeling, people talk to me, that you're not feeling, then you're feeling okay. Because if you don't mention that you're feeling okay, you're going to die in your bed in the dormitory. Okay? If you do not mention that you're not okay very early enough, you're probably going to get complications that we would not have got. So if you're not feeling okay from simply having a headache, you're having stomach upset, you don't have appetite, girls, you have cramps, you have backache, ensure that you report. Run quickly to the nurse. Put up your hand when the lesson is going on. Tell your teacher that, teacher, I'm not feeling okay. I need to go to the sick bay. Some people don't say that they're sick. They find them in the bed when they're shaking, when they're sweating, when they're nearly dying. And you ask yourself, how come you cannot talk that I'm not okay? Because you're going to die when you're still young, when you've not ridden a Benz. Don't you want to drive Benz? Anybody who wants to drive a Benz? Oh, the cameraman from Salam TV wants a Mercedes. Anyone who wants to drive a Mercedes Benz? Which cars do you want to drive? That one. Which one? You can't even say the car. Which cars do you want to drive? Range Rover? Who wants a Range Rover? Subaru? Jeep? You people are boring. We talk about food. We talk about food instead of cars. You don't eat at home. What are we saying? If you do not report any challenge in your health very quickly to the right person, you are going to die before you become an engineer of simple things like malaria, which is treatable in 5 days. So from today, young people, It is a responsibility to report that I'm not feeling okay. Some of you, your eyes are getting problems. Some of you have teeth challenges. Some of you have ulcers. Some of you are just, unable to eat. And your parents don't know, and the school does not know. Please, it is a responsibility. While you have a right to medical attention, you are responsible to report that you are sick. The other responsibility is when you are given medicine. When you are given medicine, please take the medicine. Teenagers don't want to take medicine. Someone takes malaria tablets for one day. When they feel a bit better, they throw away the rest of the tablets. It is your job. It is your responsibility. I will not swallow your medicine because I'm not sick. It is your responsibility to take your medication promptly. If it is 2 times 3, we have taken you to school, you know what 2 times 3 means. Take your tablets. Go to the nurse and request for your medication that was left there by your parents, so that you can be able to live longer and you drive that Mercedes. Mercedes what? Mercedes what? Mercedes Benz. Can you say Benz? Can you say Benz? Abana Babslam. You're not going to be rich tomorrow? You want money tomorrow? Who wants to be rich? Aha. Who wants to be the president of Uganda? Aren't you annoyed with your country? Aren't you tired of rubbish everywhere? My daughter there is very tired of Uganda. Aren't you tired of your country in some ways? Don't you want to do something tomorrow? It is important to take care of your health, okay? The other thing that you're supposed to do is to feed. You are supposed to feed well. You have a right to food, a right to good food. We as your parents have a job to ensure that there is food in the home every day. Pray for us that we get money that can give you food that is enough and that is good. But it is your right. It is your right to eat what you want in the right quality and right quantity. Who wants food? Who is hungry? Who is hungry? Okay, it is your right to have food even before you're hungry. But what is your responsibility? When food is availed, when your father and mother put food on the table or in the kitchen, what is our responsibility? It is our responsibility as Muslims and as teenagers to ensure that, one, we cook our food very well. Many of you don't want to cook today. You don't want to cook, you are waiting for someone to cook. Okay? Most of the time when it is time to cook, someone disappears. Towards lunchtime, they appear. Boys and girls must learn to prepare a meal. There is a boy that I was given to take care of some time ago, around 3 years ago. A friend of ours gave him to us. He was in senior 4, we were with him up to senior 6. But in my home, the boy cooks, the girl cooks. Okay? Now, this gentleman in the beginning, because his parents are in America, he has his holidays in America. So, he didn't know how to cook. But when he came to our home, you're supposed to touch charcoal. And your hands are black if you don't know how to use a kavera. You are supposed to prepare the sigiri, no matter how tall and handsome you are. So in the beginning he was shaking. Actually he was bribing my children. He would give them 500 and they make the sigiri. But I found out I used to stand there and ensure that he puts the sigiri on. But when this guy went back, when his parents took him finally, the thanks that he gave us, the gratitude that he had was not for the other things of clothing him, giving him a bed. He thanked me particularly. He said, Mama Hawa, webale kunjigiriza kufumba. Because when we went to America, he was taken to another state, separate from his parents, and he was staying alone in the room. Now, if you don't know even how to make macaroni, at least, okay? You don't know how to fry an egg. You do not know how to prepare porridge. Simple things. How are you going to survive, my dear ones? You're going to buy everything. You're going to die of chikomando. Every single day you're going to eat chapati and beans. So you are supposed to learn the basics of preparing food, because you're not going to eat matoke raw. You are going to learn how to peel a pineapple so that you get vitamin C. Please go back. Whether you are a boy, whether you are a man, you're going to marry and your wife is going to fall sick. What will happen to you? You're going to buy food from the hotel forever and ever. So learn the basics of preparing a meal, because we might not be able to prepare the food as we are looking for the food. The other responsibility is to ensure that you eat all the food. Eat all the food. If not prepare, what can be taken care of? Please ensure that you don't throw food. We do not throw food. Actually, food curses. When you throw food, tomorrow food is going to disappear. Ensure that you eat the food that you have prepared. That is why you must learn to prepare a beautiful, delicious meal, so that when you eat, you even lick the plate. Who licks a plate here? You lick your plate because the meal is very nice. The cameraman is showing me the other one. That when the meal is nice, we eat and even lick the plate. Please avoid wasting food. We feel very bad when we are walking around the compound and we find that you have thrown food on the dustbin. It really demoralizes us. Tomorrow we are like, now if I've given them portion and they are throwing it, when I bring matoke, what will happen? It is our responsibility to eat the food. It is a responsibility, after eating food, to take care of the utensils. Basebo ne bannyabo, omwana ow'obuwala n'ow'obulenzi ayoza ebintu. Bwe tumala okulya, tujjawo essowaani ne tuzitwala mu kiyungu, alina okuzooza n'azooza. It is a responsibility for every human being who eats to wash their plate. Kintu tolina buvunaanyizibwa bw'oba olya emmere n'oleka essowaani. You leave your plate under your bed. It is a responsibility to take care of our utensils. It is a responsibility to have a hygienic kitchen. Bw'oba ofumba, tofumbira wakyafu. Bw'oba omaze okufumba, longoosa w'ofumbidde. Are these common things? Someone is in the kitchen, they cut onions from that place. They move away, they cut tomatoes from here. If they are preparing cabbage, you find cabbage peels near the TV. You are supposed to clear the place that you have cooked for. You are supposed to clear the place where you have eaten from. It is a responsibility. So that tomorrow we don't fall sick because the plates have made us sick. Okay? In case food has remained, bamba mufumbye emmere nga nnyingi, emmere tusobola ogibugumya. We can eat that food later on. You can put it in the fridge, you can keep it covered and then you warm it and eat it later on. Don't throw food. Food curses. Please, you can eat mawolu. One of the things that made us very intelligent, for us, us who are your parents, we used to eat mawolu. You used to go with a momonde in your bag. And break time, while others are playing around with Sambusa Bubiri, you are on your momonde. And after break, you're very energetic and very alert. But of course, dozing a bit. But what are we trying to say? That even though food has not been eaten at meal time, we can keep it and eat it. We can eat it at supper time. If it is lunch time, we can eat it at lunch time. That is right number. Those who are writing, right number. Right number. Right number 3. Thank you very much. Thank you for being attentive. The other right that is very fundamental. We have a right to faith. You have a right to be a Muslim. It is your right to be a Catholic. It is your right to be a Christian. In our country, it is not okay to not to have a faith. Today, if we are talking to the majority who are Muslims here, if it is your right to be a Muslim, what is your responsibility as a Muslim teenager? Today,
Ban TV, connecting Africa to the world.
I have a few friends here who are Christians. What is your right? If it is your right to be a Christian, what is your responsibility as a Muslim, as a Christian? Number one, it is your responsibility to learn your faith. It is your responsibility to learn your deen. Bannange musome obusiraamu, mufeeyo mutegeere eddiini yammwe. When they say go with a jerrycan of water, today it is even no longer Islamic. Even the Christians take jerrycans in water in the bathroom. But when they say genda n'akadomola mu ttooyi, what are the advantages? What is the reason behind that? When they say that Muslims pray 5 times a day, what is the reason behind that? Tubasaba bassebo ne bannyabo, tuba tutte mu masomero agalimu eddiini, tuba tutte musome eddiini. We request you and we beg you to understand your faith, because we are getting a lot of disappointments from those we have taken to the schools that we understand that are going to make you sheikhs. We are very disappointed with the way you communicate. We are very disappointed the way you are delivering the message. We are disappointed the way you are communicating to the fellows. You have a fellow sheikh, but you don't even know how to address when they have made a mistake. So we beg you, much as it is your right to be a Muslim, it is your right to be a Christian, please go and learn your faith and understand it, because we are going to be burnt. Our Allah is waiting for us for things that we did without understanding them. Tubeegayirira bwe bagamba nti omuwala yeebikka akakaaya, tukusaba tegeera lwaki omwana ow'omuwala tatambula ng'asibye ekiwato. I usually remind people when I'm in front of them, fe tetusiba biwato, kale bw'oba okisibe kisibe mu kimpowooze. Naye tonyweza nnyo nnyo ensi n'eraba nga waggulu wali waggulu, wansi waliwa. Fe twambala ku peti. Abaana b'obuwala b'obusiraamu fe tetutambula nga amabina gakola ki? Gali bwe gati, ensi yonna egamba bane wuuyo mumulabye. It's like sabasaba or whatever. It's like an earthquake. Please understand why we are decent as Muslims. Please appreciate why we pray 5 times a day. Appreciate why we wake up early in the morning to pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Tubeegayirira abasoma Quran. For everybody who has the Quran in their head, or those who are memorizing the Quran, we request you to understand the meaning behind that holy book, because we are so disappointed by the way someone who is a hafiz behaves. He stands on the podium like today and he recites a verse that is saying you should not, for example, say to your parents. And we have a sheikh who is slapping their father. Wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Tubeegayirira, it is your responsibility to understand your religion. Oberenga tomorrow you have a beautiful and positive opinion to the deen. The other responsibility, it is your responsibility to practice your faith. Tubagamba okusaala ne mufuna wudhu ng'osiigako ku bugere, n'osiigako wano mu maaso, n'osiigako wano ne ku mikono, n'ojja n'osaala ng'obugere bukyafu, ebigere nga biragira ddala nti ne wudhu gy'ofunye tekola ki? Tetuuse. N'ojja mu swala, omwana ow'obuwala n'ayambala nga akasikaati kakoma wakati mu ntumbwe. N'oyimirira ku musaalo nga the truth is you are not praying for yourself, but you're praying that your parent sees you. It is your responsibility to understand what Allah wants from you. It is your responsibility to practice your faith so that it can be able to help you. Bw'oba osoma Qur'ani, osoma yaki? ogisoma kubanga tukulaba wali, ogisoma kubanga ogenda kukola bibuuzo, oba you are reciting the Quran because you get rewards from it.
Ban TV, connecting Africa to the world.
How many rewards do you want? Because it is a personal question. How many rewards do you want? You want 1,000, you want 10,000, you want millions, you want trillions. How many rewards do you want? Please practice your faith so that tomorrow when you are in front of Allah, you are a youth that Allah has appreciated. It is your right to be a Muslim. It is your right to be a Christian. But it is your responsibility to go to the mosque. It is your responsibility to go to the church, and you go early, and you go and sit in front, and you listen to what has been taught, and you pick out your lessons. Those are your responsibilities. It is your responsibility to clean your house of faith. Omuzikiti ffe tugulongoosa, mwe abavubuka mwe mulina okulongoosa emizikiti. Temulinda kubateeka ku timetable. I remember for us, they used to tell us that when we were your age, we used to fight for the broom. Because they told us that as the broom goes, empera kumi. Si kumi? Kumi. By the time you're done with the mosque, oine empera meka. And those are simple rewards. Those are very simple rewards. Naye olwaleero mulina ebikaaya bimwatadde emizikiti tubisanga mu bisudde Qur'ani muziyuziza. We find Qur'ans in pieces and tatters. It is very disappointing. Find time, break time, over lunch time, genda ozinga obukaaya engati ziteeke mu order. Put the Qur'ans in order. You don't need to tell anybody. You don't even need to shout that I'm doing this, but your Creator is watching you. And there is a shed. There is a shed at the end of this world. On Yawmul Qiyamah, when the sun is going to be very close, for a youth like you, for a teenager like you, who spent their youth doing good deeds and religious deeds. Enjuba ku lunaku lw'enkomere egenda kukka esembere ng'etwokya fanaawobira tusaba Allah ekitiibwa atuwa ekisiikirizo ekyo. Naye mwabo abagenda okubeera mu kisiikirizo ekyo mwe muli omuvubuka eyamala obudde bwe obw'ekivubuka ng'atya Allah era
ng'akwanjulire Al-Bayan Quran Memorization Center eyiganga. Al-Bayan Quran Memorization Center ssomero ly'abawala n'abalenzi lyaniriza ab'ekisulo n'abava waka lya nasale ne primary okuva ku P1 paka ku P7. Tusomesa abaana okuva ku myaka 4 n'okudda waggulu. Lisambisa amagulu abiri, lisomesa eddiini n'ebyensi. Ate ng'abaana bonna tubakwasisa Qur'ani ku mwoyo. Tulina ne center number ku Al-Bayan Quran Memorization Center. Ebyokwerinda by'abaana biri gulugulu. Tulina CCTV kamera ku ssomero ezituyambako okumonitalinga entambula y'abaana. Essomero lyaffe lirina ekikomera ekitangira abaana okumala gataayaaya. Tusangibwa Iganga, Kaliro Road, ku Masjid Jamia, ewa Sheikh Uthman Shabani Ngobi. Tufunire ku 070 12 11 21 ne 070 45 36 91 oba 074 nkaaga 710. Leeta omwana wo ku Al-Bayan Quran Memorization Center. Togenda kwejjusa. Al-Bayan Quran Memorization Center. Quran is my behavior.
Ebola Islamu Media tukwata ddaawa ez'abamashayikh era ne tugigabana naawe ku mitimbagano gyaffe gyonna egya intaneti nga YouTube, Facebook, Instagram ne WhatsApp. Tukwata emikolo gy'Obuyisiraamu gyonna ng'embaga, graduation, okwanjula mu kwalite ennungi. Tunoonyeeko gw'alina omusomo gwe weetaaga, nawe alina omukolo twesige. Ebola Islamu Media nawe alina essomero oba bizinensi yonna gireete tugikulangire omanyibwe era ofunemu. Ebola Islamu Media, knowledge is light. Okumanya kitangaala. Ban TV, connecting of